Hello and Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I am Siddharth Zarabi, and with me today the Managing Director and CEO of Tech Mahindra, Mr. C.P. Gurnani. Mr. Gurnani, welcome to Business Today TV. Let me start by asking you about your recap of the Q2 financial performance. Overall, seemed to be a good set of numbers.
Thank you, Siddharth. And yes, it has been a very disciplined operational rigor that you saw being practiced by the Tech Mahindra associates in Q2. On one end, we had to, adjust to the challenges that the new world is offering. On the other hand, we also had to meet some of the customers' demands under difficult circumstances. Our belief is that overall, when I look at all the parameters, TechM has done well, approximately 2.9% constant currency growth, EBITDA improvement to 15.2%, attrition down to 19.6%. Both CME and enterprises business is growing. Our investments in 5G, metaverse, and customer connectivity and experience management is yielding results. So yes, we are happy, but then as the old Hindi saying goes, we can do better.
Well, everyone can do better, and that's a good point. I want to get your views on how do you expect margin performance to be in the remaining part of the year, considering the overall challenging environment that we are seeing?
Ultimately, margin performance, if we continue to be on a growth curve, which is what we think we will be, then I think we should be able to improve on our margins. Because a lot of measures that we have taken and a lot of investment that we are doing, it is very, very evident that we will be able to do a lot better over the next few quarters. But as I said, I want to put in a word of caution. The word of caution clearly is that we budgeted based on our customer interactions, the customer voice. We have done a lot of analytics on each vertical and sub-vertical. So we do know that there will be a slowdown, but for Tech Mahindra, we are in a lag industry, and we think relatively we should be able to sail the storm.
How deep will the slowdown be, and what sectors do you see getting impacted? I was going to ask you about the communications vertical and the BFSI specifically.
So communication vertical, the chances are the slowdown will be relatively lesser because the consumer side, I think it has become a utility, it has become a necessity. Each one of us consume more telecom time, and I don't think it's going to reduce. The second part of it is telecom and enterprise business. They will have to factor in some of the slowdown. From a sector point of view or the geography point of view, it is very, very evident that Europe will feel the stress a little earlier. It is already showing signs of it. US, I think they will have to force a slowdown to contain the inflation. So my fundamental point that I'm trying to make is technology spend will not reduce. Spend to remove some of the operational inefficiencies will not reduce dramatically. We could be out of sync for a quarter or two, but overall the demand for technology spend continues to be high all over the world.
Mr. Gurnani, you've spent a lifetime, not only dealing with clients, but overall assessing the US and the European market, which are where a significant part of your revenues come from. What we are also hearing about the US is that perhaps this whole thing about controlling inflation may get a bit overdone in a way, because there is a significant section of opinion which believes that prices will cool off once whatever is happening in Ukraine stabilizes. Do you also share that sense of silver lining to a dark cloud?
I'm reminded of one of your publications that 10 years ago, when there was a slowdown, and then I think the chairman of European Bank had said whatever it takes to change the trajectory of slowdown. And I think, the North American administration is in that mode, whatever it takes to reduce the inflation. And yes, surely they are going to experiment. They are going to try, bringing in measures, whether it is rate increase or whether it is increasing the supply of oil or whether it is taxing some of the people. I wish I knew how to interpret every action. All I know is that yes, US administration is very, very keen to contain the inflation.
Well, very clearly, there is also a view which says that the age of inflation is upon us, and the globe is going to have to live with high prices for a sustained period of time, and that has implications for all manner of industries. Let me come back to your business and focus on attrition. From the numbers, I can see that there was a dip, a decline, and that is part of a trajectory that we've been seeing. How do you assess the situation as far as this blip is concerned? Is this temporary, or is it now a feature of post-COVID times?
Siddharth, I want to remind everybody, what did we do to reduce attrition? What we did is we listened to our employees. We spoke to them. And on the basis of that, direct conversations, we opened up centers in Coimbatore, Vijayawada, Warangal. So we just added new centers, Nagpur and Indore. So the whole point is, if you listen to your employees, if you're willing to be flexible and, create a work environment. What is the second message that we got from our employees? That we need to make workplace so attractive that they want to come to the workplace. So we have an internal organization, which is a voluntary organization called Josh. The Josh has now been super activated. And the other day I was in Pune in one of my campuses, and I heard two different bands playing, and I asked my colleagues out there that why are the two bands? He said, no, we created an environment where anybody who has got an hobby can come and practice their hobbies in our campuses. So right now the response to the music hobby is so high that right now you see two bands, but you come at 11 o'clock in the night, you will see 6 bands playing.
Mr. Gurnani, that's a good point, because I was going to ask you that was one of those bands a band of freshers, because what we have also been hearing and picking up anecdotally, without perhaps major numbers, is that there seems to be some sort of delay in onboarding freshers. Is that correct? And if so, why is that happening? And by when do you see that situation getting tackled?
So Siddharth, I can speak only for Tech Mahindra. I didn't go and check if that band was a fresher, but let's believe it that the band was off fresher. That means I did not delay the onboarding.
Okay.
The second point is, as a policy, I am very clear that we respect the young talent. We believe that we need the young talent to bring in fresh ideas. And clearly, when you are a digital company, you want what in other industries is called digitally native. That means the talent which has grown into the digital world. And I think we respect that talent, and we will not delay joining or issuing appointment letters to the freshers. So I am very, very clear. They're an important part of my organization, and they become the part the day I issue the appointment letter.
Okay, that's an important statement to make. On that note, could you tell our viewers about the headcount additions and the outlook for the rest of the year?
Siddharth, we don't give any guidance, and unfortunately, people tend to do a multiplication. We added about 5,000 people last quarter. Uh, Hopefully, we will continue to add about 20,000 people in the next 1 year. I can't tell you which month, which quarter, but my belief is that we are today at 164,000 people. Inshallah, we will be 184,000 people 12 months from now.
Okay, that's a very robust set of numbers that you have shared with us, and thank you for that, because I know you don't give a guidance, but this is a significant number, especially from the point of view of employment of the millions of Indian youth who are looking for careers in IT. I also want to utilize this opportunity to get you to tell our viewers about the latest trends that you are seeing. Earlier in our conversation, you spoke about how there will continue to be investment to draw efficiencies. But in terms of new technology spends, as we head into the new calendar year, are you seeing any new trends that you could share with our viewers?
Again, our focus is on connectivity. The 5G has become a reality. It's just a matter of time when we start seeing it in India. Similarly, on customer experience management, we provide tools, people, experience on customer experience management. One of the faster areas of growth continues to be content, creativity, and commerce, which is where a majority of my investment is going in right now. And from a technology with frontier, there are two moonshot investments that we are working on. One is on space tech, and secondly is on quantum computing. I mean, both of them are moonshot, but clearly our team is excited, and we want to be seen as the first ones of the block.
Since you spoke about moonshots, I cannot but avoid asking you about the moonlighting debate. It's carried on for many months. Do you think it's come to an end with most companies and tech leaders like you having spoken on the subject?
I think most of us have made our views known, and all I can say is it was my conversation with you where the debate started, and I do believe that today's conversation is not going to put it to an end.
Okay, it's not going to put it to an end. Mr. Gurnani, I'm going to thank you very much for your time with us today, for that view on your second quarter performance, as well as broader questions around the IT sector. All the very best, and thank you very much for your time with us today.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much.
All right, that's a wrap on this conversation. That was Tech Mahindra on its Q2 numbers, mostly in line with expectations. A good 2.9% uptick in sequential growth and inline margin performance. But the big headline that we heard from Mr. CP Gurnani, the MD and CEO, is an addition of at least 20,000 more employees within the next 12 months, taking the headcount close to 184,000. That's a significant number at a time when the US and European markets continue to pose a challenging environment for the overall Indian IT sector, and with the lack of clarity as to what will happen as far as the headwinds that have been generated due to the Ukraine conflict, this is a significant number that he has shared with us as far as the overall number growth is concerned, and the stock, we were showing it to you earlier, reflecting some of that, but very clearly the Indian IT sector, given what's happening globally, the threat of recession in most of the advanced economies where some of the topmost clients for all Indian ITs come from, this is going to be a space that we will continue to track very, very closely. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. We'll catch you with more programming on Business Today Television. Stay with us.